Hey guys, it's Coach Davor from Tennis House. In today's video, I will address the drop shot. So Alcaraz hits a lot of drop shots. The drop shot is coming back in fashion. And I want to show you technically how to hit a sound drop shot and talking about court positioning of yourself and your opponent. So if you want to know more about the drop shot, stay with me in this video. And I'm going to go first through the technique. So there's two things you can do when you hit the drop shot. So some players, let's say, I play with a strong Eastern grip. So with my strong Eastern grip, I can try to drop shot it with the same grip. Some players do that. So if you're capable of hitting a good drop shot and you can keep your forehand grip, you do that. But if you are struggling to keep your grip and hit a drop shot, you need to make sure when you want to disguise it. You want your opponent to buy that you hit a drop shot, and then you change it to a continental and you drop shot it. So that's before anything starting. Those are the two things you can do. Now let's go into the technique a little bit. So on the drop shot, it is important. I call it always, it's like you draw a half pipe, a very open U. So not a U like this, you draw a very open U with the racket. So if I'm here and I'm changing my grip now, let's say I have this continental right here. So you're drawing, if I would draw the line, a very open U. And it's very important that you hit the ball first and then you feel it. You feel that ball, you give it a little bit, that tiny bit underspin to control it and keep it short. So when you go with that ball and you hit it, as I said, a little bit like a half pipe or a very open U. So important is on the drop shot. What a lot of players do wrong is when they come up, they go, they stop and freeze here. You can't control any shot you hit. You should always go and do the whole motion. And especially with the drop shot, you want to go all the way to control the whole motion. Don't stop abruptly. All right, so technically, as I said, ideally continental grip. You want to be like a very open U, and you need to go with the shot in order to hit a good drop shot. So now you have to keep in mind, you can't just drop shot if you're standing behind the baseline. Most of the times, when you hit a good drop shot, you want to be close to the service line, ideally, I would say. And you hit the drop shot from here. So if you're behind the baseline, the ball just travels too long and your opponent has a great chance to get that ball. Looking at your opponent, you want your opponent off balance, having a bad strike zone on their shot, so they gave you a short ball, and you want them deep further back so they have a longer way to run. So you have to see where your opponent is in that situation. So now, another important thing is too, you have to keep in mind when you're here and you hit a drop shot from here, if you hit the ball cross court as a drop shot again, the ball travels longer and your opponent has a good chance to get it. And from here, if I hit a drop shot cross court, they have the whole court open. So the down the line drop shot right there is a shorter way for the ball to travel, and you can cover the angles a little better if the ball is on the outside. If the ball is in the middle, you can go wherever you want. So keep those things in mind the next time you want to hit a drop shot. And the most important part is do not do any abrupt motions. You have to go with that ball and finish your stroke in order to hit a good drop shot.